Welcome back to some more breaking Shadowlands news, folks. As requested during the chat of the last premiere of the models, the base models viewer video that I just did, someone asked for mounts. So I scoured through the pictures that they have taken and come up with what I believe are the mounts that some of the mounts that we might see in Shadowlands. Of course, we're going to start with one that I covered in the previous video, the Winged Lion. And we have it here in its base form. I went over this in my last video. I think it looks a little basic in this version, but once you put the harness, saddle, and armor on it, it looks a lot better. So I think this is going to be a really neat mount. And there are some wild looking things in this that have the potential of being mounts. I'm not 100% sure if they are or not, but I went through the screenshots and found what I felt were the best representation of potential mounts. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure to hit a like and subscribe on this video, and we're going to go through this. Let's have some fun. Now, first up, we have what looks like some sort of horned stag with the Ardenweld line work and light effects on it, which is really, really neat. So this is its base form, and then with its saddle, I like how the saddle blanket is leaves off of the tree, and that it itself, its tail, parts of its mane, and its hair are leaf looking and feather looking. It's really, really neat. It has the long, almost elf-like ears. It's a really nice model. I really, really do like it. And potentially one of the mounts for the Covenant. And then we have an upgraded version of it with much larger horns. And it looks like kind of like spider webs in between. It's hard to tell. It's a really gorgeous model. I'm looking forward to seeing what Ardenweld brings to us story-wise, because maybe we'll see a progression in our mount as we progress through the Covenant and become exalted with them. Maybe our mount will change or be a different mount entirely. I would like to see a mount that grows as you use it, or as rise through the ranks of your Covenant. That would be really neat. And then we have this Mechano Lion, or a Curium kind of lion. It's really interesting. To me, this screams Bastion with its aesthetic. And there's a couple of color variations. We have the gold, we have the white, then we have this dark one. Now, we did hear about dark Curians, so maybe this is from the dark Curians. This one is obviously a mount. You can see the saddle right there on it. So this is a neat one. The way it looks, the way it's covered, there's a lot of these to go through, so I'm going pretty quick. And then there's this thing, which is from Drax on its design choice and design language. Rotting, weird type of horn beast. It's really cool. Interesting take on the whole kind of ram aesthetic, because it has this long undercurved horn. Then it has the dual tails that we've seen on some flying mounts in the past. Turtle, possibly a mount, possibly not. It would be interesting. I mean, we would be sitting like right here, right in this area here is where we would be sitting, I'm guessing. Bats in their wild form without a saddle on them. Really good design choices and details in them. Giant fangs, so Revendreth, obviously. And then we have one with battle armor on and a saddle on it. So one of our flying mounts, or it could be a taxi mount. You know, this may not be a player mount. I don't think we're going to get flying. Well, we will get flying eventually, but you know what I'm saying. And then we have this. Really looks like one of the creatures we had in Legion. Really cool. Then with the mount, with the bridle, the reins, the saddle, and everything on it, it's really nice. This line work on the bottom, this heavy line work of purple, I'm guessing will be a particle effect or some sort of effect to give it that spiritual or ghost-like appearance. Again, another Ardenweld design, I'm guessing. Then here in its wild format of another coloration, and then the mount on it is all right. Then there's this scary boy. I think he's another Maldraxxus when he's armored. He would probably be sitting around here. Kind of like the one that came in the collector's edition of Legion. Similar design. You see they removed part of the armor to put saddle on it. Really neat. I'm guessing this is probably Maldraxxus or Rivendreth. I'm not sure. It's up in the air on this one with the design language. Or it could be from the Moth, truthfully. Because if you look at this. I just noticed this right here. Its skeletal structure is all smoky and wispy. So this might be something that drops in the Moth, because it doesn't have a body. That is really neat. And a Moth, I had heard about this, that we might get a Moth mount. But there's no picture of it yet with a saddle on it. This guy screams mount to me. Saddle right here, basically. Yep. Have a saddle on him. Shaved off a couple of the spines on him and put the saddle pretty far back on his back. So our character's going to be really leaning back on, and that's going to look kind of interesting. Of course, we saw these in Draenor. I expect to see them coming back as a mount. There's different color variations. Another Moth. This, I believe, is actually the Moth mount. What we saw before is probably what the Moth starts out as, and we have to put it into the mount, I guess. Yeah, because there's the saddle and everything on it. I literally just went through these images, grabbed them real quick, started, hit record, giving you guys my first blush thoughts on these. I really like this one, and I hope it's not limited to a single faction like the B mount was. I hope it's going to be a mount that we'll see on both sides. That will be really fun to see. It's gorgeous. And then we have this interesting, like, skeletal. Reminds me of like the Raven Lord crossed with a pterodon. It's really gnarly looking. Draxus, obviously. Big old bone throne on top. It's really cool. That's going to be an interesting one to get. I'm wondering what the animation type is going to be. Is it going to be similar to the Plague Bat in its gait when it's walking, it's flying? It's going to be an interesting one to look at. Now, this last one, I'm just guessing that this is going to be a mount. This is its non-mount form, because or a basic form, because I can see the character kind of like standing here with her hand on top of the spire here, and then in its alternate form, much larger. You can literally see that they could put their foot right here, hold on to it. It could be an interesting looking mount, very unique. Then again, I could be completely wrong. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of these models. Which ones do you think will be for which side, which covenants they'll be for, and what other things you're looking forward to in Shadowlands, and what stuff you want to see me cover here on the channel. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot. And I'm Crits of Midlife Crits, and we'll see you next time on the couch.